Hi, this is Brenda Sampson, and I'm doing my reflection video for COM 215A, and let's get started. Okay, so objectivity is a neutral stance, and everything in the media has an influenced opinion behind it. So therefore, objectivity does not exist. It is an illusion. It cannot exist when it comes to the subject of the media. Everything in the media is subjective. We have an opinion and we voice that opinion. That's why it's subjective. So as Turner reveals in Pop Culture on page 16, I'll read it. He says, "Personally, I believe that most people are influenced far more than they would care to admit by novels, serial stones, films, and so forth. And that from this point of view, the worst books are often the most important because they are usually the ones that are read earliest." So that proves my point as well, that we are influenced by media as a society, and media forms popular culture, which makes it subjective by nature. So our culture influences us to either our culture, our media. Our media is shaped by our culture, so it influences us to either be guarded or to have warm and fuzzy feelings, right? And that causes us to engage in popular culture or to not engage, to disengage, depending if we're guarded or if we're feeling great about it. So let's just talk about Postman and McClellan. They both had similar views, but McClellan's was a little deeper. However, Postman's in 1980, he was mentioning Sesame Street and how children are learning through Sesame Street, through media, through imagery, through music. And his concern was that the literal way of learning, the literary learning, the learning through topography was going to eventually be non-existent if these children were going to continue to learn through imagery and through music and things, because then they're not going to be able to learn any other way. So that was his concern about the influences of media. Now, McClellan's concern in the 60s was centered around the internet, and he was saying that we as a society live in a literal world. You know, we are concerned about our individual successes. However, with the internet, we are going away from the literal world, being interested in our own successes, and being formed into more of a tribal world where we're interested, like it's a global village where we're concerned about the tribe. We're no longer concerned about our individual successes. And I totally see that now with social media. I mean, back then he did not even know about social media, but social media has caused us to be a global village, a tribal society. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. So both views do prove my point that objectivity or neutrality is an illusion when it comes to our digital age and our media world. So Turner points out on page 77 of Pop Culture, I'll read it. He says, "A truly human film will embrace our faith, but films of faith rarely embrace our humanity." Why is that? It's because our human nature expresses subjectivity. Okay? We influence each other's belief system. Faith alone is objective and needs humanity to cause it to come alive. So God chooses us to reveal himself to others. And that just kind of reminds me of John 15, verse 16, which I'll leave that with you today. And it says in the New International Version, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you you might go and bear fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you." So that's just kind of to back up the point that objectivity is an illusion. It is a neutrality. It's neutral. And that has, with relationships, with media, relationships with God, relationships with media. I mean, it's subjective. We have opinions. We talk to God about our opinions, about our situations. That is subjective. And so objectivity is an illusion. Thank you.